Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome Pastor Sunday?
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. The last time we met here, it was about 9 months ago now. So, if this is your first time here, let me see your hand up. The first time. Let's clap for the elders who are coming for the first time. Wonderful, wonderful. We're glad to have you here, and we're trusting God that tonight will be another wonderful night, a night for you to go home with some questions in your mind, and questions that will change your total outlook, both from inside onto the outside. Because what the topic we are looking at tonight is mind shift. Mind shift. Anybody, what do you think when you saw the topic? What came to your mind? Mind shift? Mind? What came to your mind? Mind shift. Anybody? What came to your mind? Yes? Good evening.
I saw the mind shift like changing my mindset. That's what came to my mind.
Changing your mindset. Wonderful. Let's put our hands together. Anybody? What came to your mind when you saw the topic? Yes, there's a hand there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What came to mind was mind renewal or a change of mindset.
Mind renewal, a change of mindset. Thank you very much. A change of perspective.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, I see another hand here. So, maybe I will just leave here and ask somebody to
Good evening, everybody.
come and deliver the slides. Yes.
When I saw the topic this night, what came to my mind was that what exactly that I am thinking about that I'm supposed to do, or what I have to do.
What you are thinking about that you're supposed to do or that you have to do. So it still has to do with your mind. There is a hand at the back.
Good evening, everyone. I think with the advent in technology, computerization, new dispensation in life, inventions of life, I feel your mind will be tailored towards the new technologies. You should put your mind, you should not direct your mind to the current happenings in the world, that you should focus your mind. You allow your mind to align to the new technologies. Something like computerization, just age, align your mind.
Your mind, yeah, particularly for the old. Thank you, man. For the people who are older, who don't want to learn anything in technology. Thank you, man. Yes?
I think, good evening once again, I think change of my views about life, paradigm shift. That's what came to my mind when I saw mind shift. So I'm looking forward to.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, can you just turn around and say hello to somebody by your side, in front of you? Ask for the person's name. What's your name? If you don't know his name, what's your name? All right. Thank you very much. So, Mindshift. Here we go. What is Mindshift? So, our first attempt is to define what Mindshift is. It is a shift in your mind. a shift in your mind. What is a shift? A shift is when you move something from one point to another point. You create a shift. So a shift in your mind. And what is mindset? What is mindset? Mindset is a mental attitude. Now, in every one of us, over the days, over the years that we have been growing, we have been taught particular things. We have been taught in particular ways that has become who we are, because we have grown with certain cultures, we have grown with certain realities, we have grown with certain understanding. And because of this, our mind has been created to think in a specific way. Our mind has been patterned to see our worldview in a particular way because of how we have been raised. So, as an adult, whose characters are already perfectly formed, the characters and the behaviors that we portray is the acting out of the things in our mind. So we act, we behave, we relate based on our mind, based on the mindset that we have imbibed from childhood. And so that's why in certain cultures, because people are taught that when you see an elder, you bow. A child grows with that. And so wherever he or she finds an elder, because it's already part of him, it's something that is set in the mind, he does not think twice before he or she does it. So he acts out based according to the pattern that is in the mind. So your mindset is a habit. Your mindset is a character. And this is what determines how you will interpret or respond to situations. In most cases, when we have arguments, the responses we give in the course of the argument, in the course of the misunderstanding, is not invented. It's a response that has been in one for a long time. But maybe you've never been under such a situation that will bring that response out of you, but because it is already there, because it's a pattern that has been created in the mind all before now. And you find yourself reacting in ways that when people ask you, say, I don't even know. I don't even know how I did it. I don't even know what I did. But it is not invented. It is not something new. It is something that is in you, but you've never been in a situation or circumstances that exposes that inside of you. So our Mindshift, as we want to discover tonight, is to look at what can I do to change the characters that will deny me a better life. What can I do to change the attitudes that will not allow me to grow beyond where I am today? What can I do to modify my behaviors, the behaviors that put me in trouble all the time? You know, as a young man, I was very stubborn. Maybe those who are discerning can still see it. But the stubbornness of then and now, they are two different things. As a young man, I was very, very stubborn being in secondary school, and I got a lot of floggings for being stubborn. But so one day, Something, and each time I get flogged, I don't eat. So once I'm punished, I will punish whoever punished me by not eating as well. I said, no food for me. So one day I just sat down and I thought to myself, why are you stubborn? I asked myself, why are you stubborn? Do you realize that you punish yourself all the time? They give you small punishment, you put in stubbornness, it leads to bigger punishment, you put in stubbornness again and you are punished all over again. Do you like it? And I said to myself, definitely no. I don't like what I'm getting, I don't like what I'm seeing. So the question I ask myself now is, what will I do? I now decided that I am going to stop being stubborn. Now that was not an easy thing. I had no one to tell me to change. But situations and circumstances that I find myself, because oftentimes when I get punished, I am used to it, my reaction is not to eat. And so I find myself going hungry all the time. And I didn't want to, so it has become a norm in the house. Once I'm punished, nobody makes food for me. Because they know I will not eat. So when hunger started dealing with me, I now had to speak to myself because I needed the food at the end of the day. And I can't continue quarreling over not eating. So I had to change so that I'm able to get some food. So there are situations and circumstances that forces us to change sometimes. And for some people, until they find themselves in certain difficulties, no matter how much you try to make things easy and simple for them, they will never change. Most times, we see life as dealing with us, but we are the ones dealing with life. Because life is nothing other than what we give it. If you say life is difficult, what does it give you back? It gives you back difficulties. If you say life is hard, what does it give you back? It gives you hard life. When you say life is sweet, what do you get? You get the sweetness of life. So we are the ones that create the things we get. There's no angel or spirit here that creates these things that happens to us. Majority of them, even though there is the third force of life, which is the spirit world, but whatever we get, even from the spirit world, is what we create. Okay. Please don't fail to stop me if you have questions. Just say excuse me and I will stop. Why is mindset important? Why do we have to know? Why do we have to understand it? It is important for us to overcome wrong beliefs. We all have wrong beliefs. I remember as a young boy, under 10, we were told, don't stand by the door. When you stand by the door to eat, you will never be full. Now I don't know so I tried to find out why. The answer I got was that when you eat, the food goes down into your legs. But that when you see it, the food stays in your tummy. Now, how food will go from my tummy to my legs, I didn't know. I didn't know much of science. So I believed it. But that was a wrong belief. And there are people, no matter how much educated they are, they still carry some of these wrong beliefs. Because it's been passed down from great-grandparents to grandparents to parents and to children. And so we carry all these wrong beliefs across. It happens in any religion. There are people who can believe wrongly. It happens in life. There is a way we can live wrongly because of what we believe. So but when you adopt the understanding of a need to shift your mind, it makes it easier it makes it workable for us to adjust our lives. We're having a conversation in a class today, and I said, how is it that rules that were set 1,000 years ago, when there was no light, when there was no internet, when there was no telephone, when there were most of the things we see today, how can those rules still be ruling us until now? That we cannot, definitely we all know there is a moral code and there is a bar that we cannot fall below. That is an unwritten code in the heart of every human being. But then there are certain cultural rules and conditions that we are given, that we are living by, that has no business with this age. But there are people who are defenders of these wrong beliefs. And the people who defend wrong beliefs are benefiting from it. And that's why they are the defenders. So, what does a Mindshift do? It helps us to overcome wrong beliefs. It helps to reset your life. How does it help to reset your life? Because you are putting your life on the start button again. You are starting all over again. We'll look at some of these things as we go on. Why is Mindshift important? It's important to help us to attain unto full potentials. Because some of us will never attain unto full potentials until we change our belief system. There are so many things that people believe that are wrong. Let's take, for instance, in this climb, growing up as a young man here in the Gambia, back way then, we used to hear Gambia, no problem. I'm sure some of the adults here can testify to that. Gambia, no problem. And so what was our life like then? Very simple, easy, non-charlatan, non-progressive. So anyone can just do anything. But now we know better. Like Gambia, no problem, cannot work anymore. Because we know there are problems. So it helps us to overcome obstacles. Some things that we never consider as obstacles. Why? Because we are used to it. Because we've walked through it for long. It's like someone, if this room had just a few lights on, and it's a bit dark, our eyes will adjust to the level of the light, and we will see. But somebody who is coming from outside where there's much light, if he enters this room, will he not ask us, why are you people sitting in the dark? And what will be our response? We are okay because we can see. And that will be our response. Oh, it's okay, we can see. If all that matters is seeing, we can see. But until you now put on more light, then you realize that what you cannot see, we are more than what you are seeing. So when we adopt the stance of a Mindshift, it helps us to overcome obstacles that we have seen and glossed over and behave as if they never existed because we don't understand. It helps us to fulfill purpose. It sets the right priorities in our lives. And when you adopt a Mindshift position, it helps you to be able to see clearly, and that makes you a visionary person. People who are burdened by myopic views, people who are burdened by position of this is the way my family is. Let me share a story with you here. There was this particular person that my family was helping, and when she got to the second year in the university, she actually became mad, and we had to pick her from the marketplace one evening because somebody called me and said, "Oh, did you see so and so in the market?" And I said, and that was around 9 p.m. at night. And I said, "Market? What's she doing there?" And they said, the condition we saw her is not really good. So I quickly jumped into the car, drove there, and picked her up, brought her to the house. Now, what was the problem? The problem was that she came from a family where they had a covenant with the forces of darkness that anyone that goes into a higher institution must run mad. But for them, education was no go. Now, we didn't know this. We didn't realize this until that happened to her. And then we now had to start praying and taking her through a process of deliverance. So it was in that course that we found out that there was actually a covenant with the family and in a family, and that anyone that goes to a higher institution will run mad. Then we now had to send her to the parents, to the mother, to go and ask the mother, why? Now, the story is a long one, but the long and short of it is that she never knew that covenant existed. We didn't know that covenant existed. But the others, the elderly ones in her family, knew. And immediately that happened, the only thing they told us is stop sending her to school. But to the glory of God, she graduated, got a good job, living a good life today. She has her own building. The same mother, she built a house for her. You can see, where forgiveness can lead a person. The people that said you cannot be a better person in life, when things turned for her, she took care of them. Some of us might need to forgive somebody. It's not about what you have, it's about what you can do. So it helps you to see clearly and become visionary. What process can I engage in order for me to have a Mindshift? What process can you engage? Understand this, that the mind is like the hard disk of a computer. So whatever information you put in remains there. Every information a child gathers, from the time the child starts to recognize things, the child does not understand what it is, but it grows with the image of everything around in the brain. And so as the parents begin to say, bring spoon, okay, take food, take rice, take bread, what happens? The image in the mind and the image the child is seeing agrees, and it's named. There's a name given to it, and it's stored in the brain. So that's how the child begins to develop his vocabulary. He begins to learn few things here and there, and things that the child does not understand, he will ask, what is this? And the moment you say it, the child keeps it. If the child forgets, he comes back again. The reason why he comes back again is because there is an image in the mind that is not named. So there is nothing in our lives that has no name. If it does exist, we'll find a name for it. So that is how these things develop. So we learn these things. We learn these cultures. We learn these beliefs. we have this understanding and it remains with us. Now take for instance, in the French system, when two people meet and they want to kiss, they kiss 3 times. 1, 2, 3. In the British society, it is twice. Now can you imagine a Frenchman and a British meeting? So whose kisses will we agree? The British or the French? French. So I'm sure by the time the British person stops those 2, he wants to stop. But the Frenchman will go for the 3rd one. And that's culture. That's what they learn. So, but now, if the Frenchman or the British person transfers and starts living in a different culture, what happens over time? He learns. And you know, this is some of the problems that Africans or some cultures have in European setting. Why they refuse to give them settlement? Because they tell them, you refuse to acknowledge our culture. That's some of the problems people run through, are facing over there. So you will learn these things. So if we learn, so it is possible to learn new things. So we have to unlearn the things we want to change. And to unlearn the things we want to change, we must find a reason why it's not okay. Because if you don't understand why something is not okay, you cannot change it. Someone who smokes, someone who drinks, someone who is a womanizer, it's something they enjoy. It's something they do at will. It's something they do without even winking. Why? Because it gives them pleasure. Now, if such a person has to change, it has to be with a superior understanding and reasoning that will make this person to know that what I am doing is not okay. And so there is a need for me to change. Once the decision is taken that I don't agree with this, change becomes easy. We don't change because we are defending our position. We don't change because what we are doing, we have good enough excuse why we should do it. And that is where a mind shift will help you to recreate your understanding, because it helps you to unlearn and to relearn. So you now have to learn new things. You now have to learn new behaviors. Because our behaviors, our characters, our attitude as a result of our mental being. The Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so his way is. So the way you think is the way you act. When you see someone who is saying, huh? You know what's inside the man? It's Dr. Flu. Because right inside of him is madness. And so he has to act it out. Because the way he thinks is that the only way to solve my problem is violence. And why will someone be violent in life? He didn't get it from heaven. He didn't get it from hell. He saw it in the home. He learned it on the, he will act it out. So, what's the next process? You have to reprogram your mind. Sometimes people don't even know the power of words. We don't know the power of words. There was somebody I told, I said, when you wake up in the morning, tell good things to yourself. Tell yourself, today as I'm going out, this and this and this and this are what I want to do. I'm going to achieve so and so and so and so. I'm not giving room to any negative thought. I'm not giving room to anyone trying to bring negative energy into my body today. I stand strong. The power of words. And is it so? The power of words. You agree with me? Maybe you're the one I'm speaking about. You know, and this person called me and said, that is only, this thing is working, it's working, it's working. I said, really? Okay, try again. Try again. Maybe we don't understand the power of words. But I'll show you a little bit. When a child is growing, and we tell the child, useless boy, useless boy, useless boy, what does that child grow to become? Even if it's useful, it becomes a great problem to the parents. Now, at what point is it a devil or something that sticks uselessness inside of the child? No. That's what we wire that child's brain to process. So the child's brain is processing that, after all, they will say, I am useless. So even when you send the child to do something and he knows how to do it, it's like, if I do it well, it's useless. If I don't do it well, it's useless. I'll do it anyhow. I'll do it anyhow. There is power in your word. And so that's what brings me to my next point. The power of affirmation. You have decided you want to reprogram your mind. What is the new program? So as you enter into the new program, it's okay to tell yourself, I'm no more that person that I used to be. I'm no more that person that I used to smoke. You know, in fact, some of my friends, when they see me, then in A-level class, they used to call me Sunday the Lion. So in Yoruba, it's called Sunday Hector. So they used to call me Sunday the Lion. So when they see me, I say, Sunday the Lion. I said, no, he's dead. That one is a dead man. This one you are seeing is a living person. Because Sunday the Lion died. So it's okay to give affirmation to yourself because it brings you to remembrance of the decision you have taken that I'm not going to walk this way again. And you know what happens? The battles come into our mind. So the thing you say I'm turning away from, the thing you say I'm not going to do again, the pressure to get into it comes. But the power of affirmation can bring you back. And sometimes you need to speak it out. You need to speak it out. No, I'm not going there. No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not taking a step from here. No, I'm standing here. No, or yes, I will do it. Yes, I will go there. Yes, I will walk there. When you take these things, it helps you. It helps you to build yourself up. So, enjoy baby steps. Someone who wants to stop smoking, you are smoking 2 packs a day. You are smoking 2 packs a day. You reduce it to 1 packet. If anybody tells you you are not doing anything, tell them, oh, I'm encouraging myself. I used to smoke 2, now 1. When you cut it again to half, encourage yourself. From half, you turn it to 2, encourage yourself. Because from that, it will become 0. But when people criticize you that, oh, you are still smoking, I said, if I smoke 1 packet, they will talk. If I smoke 2, they will talk. If I smoke 3, they will sit here and smoke. Let's smoke, Joe. Let's just keep on smoking. Let's just keep on smoking. You are not encouraging yourself. You cannot quit. So you need to encourage yourself to quit this habit that will bring you down. So build consistency. That is, are you doing something right? Are you doing something right? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Whether you see results or not, keep doing it. As long as it's a right step, keep doing it. Because result does not show in just one day in some situations. The results begin to show over months, over years. For someone who wants to cut down on weight, because you cut down on food one day, and you say, I'm still big. You do 2 days, my weight has not changed. You do 3 days, you have taken a dress that you have condemned for almost 6 months. You now want to go and put it on, wait to see whether it will fit. Who told you changes will come in 3 days? But with consistency of cutting down on meal every day, the changes you are looking for will certainly come. And when you sleep, maybe you are going on a diet, and then suddenly one day you just feel like spoiling yourself. When it happens, don't condemn yourself. Don't kill yourself. Know that it's okay, it can happen. So what do? Get back online. Get back on track. Because that sleep is actually meant to keep you away from continuing. So learn from there and say, no, I must get back online. Reprogram yourself and get back online. I have 7 kinds of people here, and I'm sure each and every one of us will fit in one. So wherever you find yourself is a good place, whether negative or positive. So why do I say it's a good place? Because that's the reason why you are here. So that you will see yourself as you are and do something about it. So the first type of people that I see is those who see opportunities and do something about it. Are there opportunities in the Gambia? Nobody's answering. How many people see opportunities in this country? No, I mean in general. Are there many people who see opportunities in this country, or a few? It's only a few. Majority of the people in this country think this country is a wreck. They think nothing good is in this country. They think, oh, I'll just be wasting my time here. It's like the story of some men who were sent out to spy a land. It's a story from the Bible. They were given a mandate to go and spy out the land, that when you get to this land, bring for us the fruits of the land. And they went. They saw the land. They saw the fruits of the land. They were fruits that they've never seen in their lives. Very big, robust, and good looking. And happily, they cut some of those fruits and brought back. When they came back to give their report, 2 of them said, in fact, that land, God has given it to us. That land, there is no place like it on this earth. Can we rise and go and conquer the land now? Only 2. And the rest say, wait. That land, we can never conquer it. It's not possible. The people in the land are giants. In fact, we are told that that land swallows people up. Where did they get that kind of information? That the land will swallow up people. And you know what they did? When it seems their story were not selling, they started crying. When it seems people were just looking and saying, where did you get this information from? They started crying out, no, don't let us go. If we go there, we all our families, our children, we will all die. And you know how Christ can influence and affect people? Everybody around started crying. Oh, it's true. If we go, we will die. The same people, they saw the same thing, but came with different results. What you see, wherever you go, is according to what you have in your mind. If you are a failure-conscious person, even when people are seeing success, what will that person see? They will see failure. So, there are those who see opportunities and do something about it. That's one group of people. There are those who see opportunities and complain of lack of resources. Where can we find money to do it? Where can we find people to help? Nobody will help you in this world. You are your own. And they don't just complain about resources. They complain about capacities. And if they ever see someone who is saying, I am going to do it, if you try, you will fail. Because they cannot do it, they cannot afford also to see another person succeed. Because then it makes them a liar. Because then it makes them look weak. Because then it makes them look as if they have no future. And so people who discourage you from moving ahead, they do so intentionally to protect their own interests. Because we are both seeing opportunities. But I want to take a step. They are not willing to take a step. They are not ready to take a step. So why should you go and leave me behind? We must remain here together. That is the sense. The third group of people are those who see difficulties and do something about it. Are there difficulties in this country?
No.
Only one person is answering me. Do we live here or we are from the other side? Are there difficulties in this country?
Yes.
How many people are doing something about it? Wherever people see difficulties, the only thing people enjoy doing is what? Is to complain. Wherever there are difficulties, it is asking a question: who is going to help? Who is going to help? When there are difficulties in a family, it is asking the question: who is going to help? When there are difficulties in the office, it is asking the question: who is going to help? When there are difficulties in the nation, it is asking the question: who is going to help? But quite a lot of people, they see difficulties and do what? And run away. They run away. It reminds me of my story again. I was in Form 4, going to Form 5, so we were on vacation. I just lost my mom, I think, the year before. So I was meant to travel to Nigeria for vacation, but who was I going to meet? Nobody. So I decided to do a vacation job. So I was working at the Ports Authority. I was working overnight as then Granite was a booming business. So I was actually engaged by the Ports Authority as part of the people that count bags that were brought back from abroad, because when they take the granite over, they bring back the empty bags. So we are the ones that oversee the bags that are abroad, how many they are, and make sure that the loaders load them in the trucks that they take back. So I did night shifts. I closed about 6 in the morning, and I was walking home. As I was walking home, I met a friend, a classmate, on the road, and we stood because he was to take over from me. So I was telling him some of the things that went on overnight. And the next thing I saw was stars. I saw stars. And then I fell. I realized I was on the floor. I didn't know anything, only to wake up and find myself in the hospital at RVH. So what happened was that my friend, it was one of the trucks that we were loading that overtook another truck. So while he was, because he was, I think he was a bad driver, while he was trying to navigate, the tail of the truck caught the back of my head. That's the story they told me. I was not there. So they said the truck threw me up and I fell on the floor and rolled to almost falling inside the gutter. And then I did some gymnastics on the floor there and then went calm. So everybody thought I was dead. And the devil is so good in arranging burial agents for one. So there were some women who were going. They saw what was happening. They came there and they covered me. That this guy was gone. How long it took, I don't know. So where I'm going is that my friend who was with me, what do you think happened to him? He ran away. He ran away. But thanks be to God for a good Samaritan who saw a gathering from afar. He said he has gone and was almost getting into his office. He also was working at the port as where they used to make ships. And then he said, something is wrong there, let me go. He was my football club manager. So he came and opened and found me and said, it's Sunday. So immediately they had to rush me into a taxi, took me to the hospital. So the point I'm bringing out from there is that when some people see trouble, what do? They run away. It's not everyone that sees trouble and stays to provide solution. Some people run away. Some people do something about it. And there are those who see difficulties and do nothing. They do not run, but they don't do anything. What are they? They are watching, let's see what will come out of this. Maybe he's going to die. Were they not there? Those who covered me did something because they presumed I was dead. What happened to the driver? No, he was there. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. But it took somebody from afar to do something to save that situation. Otherwise, this man standing before you wouldn't have been. When you see difficulties, it's asking the question, who will help? Who will help? So there are those who neither see difficulties nor opportunities. Nothing concerns them. Breakfast, available. Lunch, available. Dinner, available. No bed, I sit on chair. There is bed, I will sleep on it. No bed, no chair, I'll put mat. So for them, survival is in the lowest end. Whatever condition I find myself, I am willing and ready to go lower. And there are those who are saying, no, I'm not going lower. I can't go lower. I need to fight this thing back. I need to find my way back. I need to find my way up. Believe me, dear listener, life does not treat you anyhow. You treat life somehow, and it treats you anyhow. Because right inside of you, you are wired naturally and divinely to respond to your environment. It's a given. According to the story of creation, if you look at, don't look too far. According to the story of creation, after God created everything, what did he do? He put the man there. He wired the man and said, take care of it. He says, develop this place and make it better than I gave it to you. So man, divinely and naturally, is wired to be in control of his environment and to develop his environment. That is why those who are developmentally oriented are never satisfied. They move from one level of development to the other, to the other, to the other. When you get to a point in life and you think you have done well, and you say this is the end, it's the beginning for somebody. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
It's the beginning for somebody. So where you call the end and you are ready to settle down in, you better re-strategize. How and what can I do to improve on this? So those who neither see difficulties nor opportunities are merely just living and existing. And the last group of people are those who believe that some people are born to make it and others are born to struggle. Now when you look at all these kinds of people, there is one thing that is common to every one of them, is the way they think. You think rich, you grow rich. You think poor, you grow poor. Why? When you think rich, you have the energy and the capacity that will help you to gravitate towards doing things and some things that will bring wealth your way. And when you think poor, you never think beyond the myopic level because you believe it's okay here. After all, I have food. It's okay here. After all, I have a house over my head, I have a roof over my head. There are people who are sleeping on the street. You can never grow past them. That's where your life will end. You have to create a shift in your mind. Believe that life can be better than what it is. Believe that you can be better than who you are. Believe that you have what it takes to get to where you are going. You can get there. Some of us never had opportunities in life. I had to fight my way through life. Not struggle, no. I fought. I was fighting. From the day I came into this country, my first day in school, I was beaten to pulp. Seriously beaten in primary school. What was my offense? I sat beside the most beautiful girl in the class, and it was not my fault. That's when the teacher said I should sit. And then the boys descended on me that after school today, we will deal with you. They beat me to pulp. And every day somebody was beating me. Until my very good friend, in Lamin, until he picked me and he shook me. He said, "Sonny, I will support you. Fight back. Fight back. You can beat these people." I said, "No." He said, "No, you can beat them. Fight back." And then what did I do? I started picking them one. I didn't allow them to be a group. I started picking them one by one. I will beat this one. The next one, I will beat it. They respected me. If you don't fight your way, life will fight you down. I didn't say go and start boxing people. That's not what I mean by fight your way. But you have to be determined. You must be determined. Nothing comes easy in life. Someone asked us and said, please, I just want to know how I can live a life without stress, or live in an environment where there is no stress. And I asked the team, I said, does a place like that exist? Does it exist? Huh? That's what everybody said. And that's what we are saying. No, it does. It does. The graveyard. All you have to pay is rent. And it's a permanent rent. You don't pay it twice, you pay it only once. There, no trouble. Let the sleeping dog lie. No trouble. But as long as you have this brain, and this brain is working and at work in you, believe me, you have to fight your way through life. You have to fight your way. Any question before I take my last slide? Any question, any contribution? Yes.